countrymen people. Welcome back from the Horizon Shine with your own and one Moses Canal. You heard him, he calls himself Omusaja Teluma Muntama. I don't know what that means, but welcome back from that kind of program and greatness. I'm here to give you the news updates. My name is Mwaheriza Bill Clinton, together with Livingston Kawesi for the sign language interpretation. To begin with, around the region and what we have for you in the papers. I brought you Daily Monitor. Ministers face court over Iron Sheik scam. You will see the continuation of these stories. The Inspectorate government has revealed that they have asked the accused, including cabinet ministers, to submit their written explanations on illegal acquisition of the materials. Page 4 of today's Daily Monitor has it for you. 4 students killed and 20 injured in a truck crash. That is the truck remanded into a classroom at Kasaka SS in Kanoni Town Council, Gomba District. You will see details of what happened in that place because of the rainy seasons on page 3 of today's Daily Monitor. Continually, in the Daily Monitor, women lose appeal in marriage breach fine. You will go to page 3 of today's Daily Monitor, has the story for you. And then why Kampala flyover project has delayed. Page 8 of today's Daily Monitor has the stories for you. Museveni wows Algerian investors is also another thing to interest yourself in today's papers, in today's paper of the New Vision. And then outside the region of Uganda, to begin with, in Malawi, more than 200 after a tropical storm Freddy ripped through southern Africa for the second time in the month. Huge amounts of brown waters have cascaded through the neighborhoods, sweeping away the homes. Malawi's commercial hub, Blantyre, has recorded most of the deaths, including dozens of children, and aid agencies are warning that the devastation will exacerbate a cholera outbreak in Malawi. The government has therefore declared a state of disaster in 10 southern districts that have been hardest hit by the storm. And still around Africa, hundreds of protesters have taken to the streets in Sudanese capital, Khartoum, today aiming to reach the Republican Palace, the head of state's office. They were met with volleys of the tear gas fired by the police and prevented from reaching their goal. Young men and women carried banners showing the names of those who had been killed during the recent protest against continuing military rule, and other placards say the protesters would continue until civilian rule is achieved. Tuesday's protests came under the slogan of "The Revolution is a Unionist and a Neighborhood Committee," with many participating coming from the capital's 3 cities, Amman, Khartoum North and Khartoum City. The protesters came as a celebration of the formation of the new trade unions, and the demonstrations, which have been taking place since December 2018, have been led by professions including doctors, journalists, lawyers, teachers, and engineers. And then in Europe, a Russian fighter jet has collided with the U.S. drone, causing the unmanned U.S. aircraft to crash into the Black Sea, the American military reports. The incident highlights the increasing risks of direct confrontation between Russia and the U.S. over the Ukraine war, and the U.S. says the drone was on routine mission in the international airspace when 2 Russian jets tried to intercept it. Russia said the drone crashed after a sharp maneuver and denied that the 2 aircraft made direct contact. However, the Russian Defense Ministry also says the MQ-9 Raptor drone was flying with its transporters turned off and transponders are communication highlights. And then continually in Asia, Pakistan's main opposition leader Imran Khan says the authorities are acting outside the law in the attempt to arrest him. They should all be subject. On Tuesday, police clashed with supporters of Mr. Khan, a former prime minister, outside his residence as they tried to detain him on a court order. He is currently facing allegations that he sold state gifts while in office, which he says the case is politically motivated. There was an intense situation outside the compound in the city of Lahore as police tried to force him way in. Continually with the news updates in Europe still, the beans are flying over large areas of Paris a week into a strike by waste collectors, with thousands of tons of rubbish sitting abandoned on the streets of the French capital. The workers are striking over the Macron government's proposal to raise the pension age from 62 to 64. Other cities, including Nantes, Rennes, and Le Havre, are also affected. And in the Washington, intense storms are slamming into both coasts of the U.S. on Tuesday, bringing more rain, flooding, and mudslides to California's and high winds and heavy snow on the northeast. Nearly 90,000 customers are without power in New York State, and over 3,000 flights in the U.S. have been delayed. States of emergency were declared in the New York and New Jersey on Monday ahead of the storm. Officials predict storms on both coasts will persist overnight. And on Monday night, the National Weather Service warned the double whammy of storms heading to the two coasts. Between the US and Canada, news there, police in Canada says they believe that a driver of a truck that hit and killed two pedestrians in the town of Amaqui in North Quebec did so intentionally. The act was premeditated, police said, but the suspect chose the victims at random. Gerard Charest of 65 and Jean Lafreniere of 73 were identified as the two that died in Monday's crash, and 9 others injured in the incident, including a baby and a toddler, and 3 victims remain in hospital in their critical conditions. And that brings us to the end of today's news updates that we have for you. And more of these stories, you will have them in the afternoon news bulletin with Mercy Gashegu Sembata. But I advise you to stay tuned to Channel 44, the best name in television, for the days and the newest programmings. And now the pastor's program is next. Let's stay tuned to see what the Lord does on this beautiful ground of miracles. Stay tuned. Shalom and bye for now.